We're still learning a lot about marijuana use, the good and the bad of it. But as it stands, there are misconceptions that pot is harmless.
I just smoke before studying because I find it a lot easier to concentrate and stuff.
Weed's a healthier alternative to a lot of the other substances that are affecting our youth.
The Canadian Centre on Substance Abuse says Canadian teenagers have among the highest rate of cannabis use compared to other developed countries. In our city, pot smokers light up in public in front of police annually on April 20th, 420. Over the years, crowds have grown so large there, they are now moving venues. It's normally held at the art gallery, but people will gather at Sunset Beach this year. And with pot smoking as high as it is in our city, researchers argue daily marijuana use has consequences for teens' mental health. The Canadian Centre on Substance Abuse held a panel chat today on this topic. They want to shine a light on issues with marijuana use to help young people make good decisions. Our Stephanie Mercier was there, and she joins us now. Stephanie.
Well, Dan, this panel was set up to talk about some of the myths around marijuana as well as some of the potential risks. Now, it took as its jumping off point this nice thick document. It's a report called The Effects of Cannabis Use During Adolescence. And essentially what it concludes is that even though many people, like some of the ones we heard from earlier, believe that pot is natural and therefore harmless, that's not entirely the case. Researchers found that evidence is mounting that early and frequent use can affect young brains in negative ways. They also found that, contrary to popular belief, it can be addicting. Have a listen.
The addictive potential of cannabis is lower than, for instance, for tobacco or for alcohol, for sure. But for heavy users, we see withdrawal symptoms.
So researchers and other experts in this field have been holding these discussions in cities across the country to talk about potential consequences, especially as they say with the federal government's push to legalize marijuana. They think it's important that young people are able to make informed decisions. Have a listen to Michael Krautz again.
We have now this broad interest and discussion around decriminalization, which we support from a research perspective, but you need to pair it with a rising awareness and a better and integrated prevention, health promotion approach, especially in schools.
Now, all this comes as the big annual Pot Smoke Up 420 is moving locations, Stephanie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, organizers announced that the 420 event this year will be held at Sunset Beach, not at the Art Gallery. They say partly because it's outgrown its location and also the Art Gallery isn't available. Now, the Park Board is not too thrilled about this and says it won't be granting a permit. Organizers say they didn't intend to apply for a permit anyway because the event is essentially a protest. Now, interestingly, we asked organizer Jody Emery today for her thoughts on the panel discussion and for any concerns around young people attending the 420 event. After all, it attracts roughly 50,000 people, and some of those people must be young people. Here's what she had to say.
We expect all of the people attending who provide marijuana to do it responsibly. And just like the dispensaries here self-regulate, they don't want to sell pot to kids. Nobody wants to sell pot to kids. We're trying to prevent that from happening. And we do everything we can to ensure anyone on site at 420 who dares to sell to children will be made to leave immediately.
Now, Michael Kraut says that events like 420 tend to underestimate some of the risks around marijuana, which is why he once again says that education is important so that young people can make informed decisions. Dan?